Hello there. Again, I'm in the St Giles Church in the village of Lee, just outside Malmesbury in Wiltshire. I'm not here to do another church video today. I'm going to recount an experience I had when I visited. I attended a funeral of an old chap who used to live in the village. I'd known him all my life, even though I didn't grow up in the village because of his job. I only got to know him the last 10 years of his life. I suppose it's D-Day ceremonies and that has sparked my memory of him, because he was of a similar age. He was born in 1928, beginning of March 1928, and he died the end of March 2009. So he was, if he'd signed up at 16, he would have been in the Second World War, but I think he waited till he was called up for national service after the war. I don't know what regiment he was with or where he served, but I know he didn't enjoy it, because he said he was bullied until he found somebody who would look after him. This is his grave right here. I'm not going to show you his name for reasons that will come later. I think it might be terrible to be bullied by people who should be your comrades. But I've been in the army myself, and if somebody lets your section down consistently, it's going to end up with a blanket being thrown over his head and everybody's going to take a punch. Now, that could be bullying, or it could be retribution and motivation. I think we were stood here. There's his grave there. That one there. Of course, there wasn't a headstone there. It was just a grave. My wife and I were stood here. Some people stood round to the right, round to the left, like on an arc. Family were behind him. And it was a really cold, windy day. The wind was from behind me. And the undertakers had just lowered the coffin into the grave, pulled the straps out and stepped back. Vicar was just shuffling his papers and about to step forward and do his ashes to ashes bit, when a white feather, came sailing past my right ear into my line of vision, which immediately caught my attention, because I'd read somewhere that a feather could be seen as a sign of an angel nearby. Well, just earlier than that, I'd had an idle thought, wonder which way he's going to go, because don't know how to say it. He hadn't always walked the path of righteousness. Sometimes on a Friday, he used to get paid, spending all of his money in the pub before he got home, leaving his poor wife to scrimp and save and pay the rent and everything. It was not uncommon for people of that age when I was a kid. I just used to think they were stupid at the time, but nowadays I think we realise maybe that was the only night of the week they'd sleep right through without waking up screaming, so I'm not going to judge them. Anyway, this feather had come sailing past my ear, straight over the grave. It must have climbed a bit, because it went straight over the vicar, over the family, stopped, came back against the wind, over the grave, spun round and shot up in the air, out of sight. I was just gobsmacked. I was amazed. I was euphoric, because I'd been given a sign that my friend had gone up, if you know what I mean. I looked around to see if anybody else had noticed it. Nobody had. So I just stood here. I was euphoric. I had to consciously stop myself from grinning, because that wouldn't have been appropriate. Anyway, I got home, I asked my wife if she'd seen it. She said no, and that I should tell his widow, because it would have given her some comfort. Anyway, I thought about it, and I never told his widow. In fact, I haven't told anybody until now, because you start to think, and your rational part of your brain thinks, oh, it's just a pigeon feather from over there somewhere. It's a wind, it was a strong wind, caught in a wind. Strong wind meets big building, bound to cause some eddies and swirls and that. But since I've come back here, that grave is a long way from the church. Why would it do that? How did it perform as it did? But, you know, the rational part of your brain thinks, oh, it's just a feather, you know. The placement and the timing, just coincidence, isn't it? It's easier to think that than to believe that you've been in the presence of an angel. I'd love to know what you think, whether you've had any similar experiences or anything. So leave me a comment. Thanks. Bye.